If you're thinking about self-managing a rental property because you want to save on that 8-12% property management fee every month, this video is for you.
Self-management can absolutely boost your cash flow, but it can also turn into a full-time headache if you don't set it up the right way. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what self-managing actually means, the real pros and cons, the key responsibilities you're signing up for, and a practical step-by-step system you can use to manage your own rental like a pro. When you decide to self-manage a rental property, you're basically choosing to be your own property manager. That means you're handling tenant screening, lease signing, rent collection, maintenance coordination, and staying compliant with landlord-tenant laws without outsourcing those tasks to a management company. In practice, that looks like marketing the property and handling inquiries, running background and credit checks, verifying income, choosing the tenant, executing the lease correctly, setting up rent collection, enforcing late fees, dealing with non-payment, coordinating repairs, doing inspections, responding to emergencies, and keeping records so you can track income, expenses, and taxes.
It's a lot, but it's also a powerful way to stay close to your investment and keep more money in your pocket each month.
There are real, tangible benefits to self-managing a rental property. First, cost savings. Most property management companies charge roughly 8-12% of the monthly rent, sometimes more, plus fees for things like new leases or maintenance markups.
When you remove that fee, you immediately increase your cash flow, which can be a big chunk of your profit on a property.
Second, control and visibility. When you manage your own rental, you control who lives in your property, how maintenance is handled, and how quickly issues get resolved. You also see the property's finances in real time, what's coming in, what's going out, and where you can tighten things up. Third, experience. Self-management forces you to understand the rental business at a deeper level. Tenant behavior, local laws, maintenance cycles, and what actually drives net operating income.
That learning makes you a stronger investor over the long term, even if you eventually outsource management.
Now, here's the other side of the coin. There are some real downsides to self-managing that you need to be honest about up front. Number one is time. Property management is not a set-it-and-forget-it activity. Even with just one rental, you'll spend time advertising vacancies, answering inquiries, showing the property, screening applicants, handling maintenance calls, and chasing late rent when it happens. Number two is legal and regulatory risk. If you don't understand fair housing rules, your state's landlord-tenant laws, and basic safety and habitability standards, you can accidentally violate a regulation.
That can mean fines, legal disputes, or losing in court if you mishandle an eviction or deny a tenant for the wrong reason.
Number three is stress.
Dealing directly with tenants, late payments, neighbor complaints, noise issues, damage, and conflict can be emotionally draining. Not everyone is wired to be the bad guy when it's time to enforce late fees or start an eviction for non-payment.
So the real question isn't, is self-management good or bad? The real question is, does self-management fit your personality, your schedule, and your investing goals right now? At a high level, your responsibilities fall into 5 buckets: tenant acquisition, lease and legal compliance, rent collection and financial management, maintenance and repairs, and tenant relations and, if needed, evictions. Tenant acquisition includes marketing, screening, and onboarding. You'll create the listing, take photos or video, post it on rental platforms, respond to inquiries, and then screen applicants with credit checks, background checks, income verification, and rental history checks to make sure they meet your criteria.
Once you choose a tenant, you'll handle the lease signing and move-in process, including collecting deposits and doing a move-in inspection.
Lease and legal compliance is where many DIY landlords get in trouble. You must use a lease that complies with your state's laws and doesn't violate any local rules or fair housing laws. You also need to understand your obligations for repairs, habitability, notice periods, and how to properly handle security deposits. Most regions require you to keep the property safe and structurally sound, ensure plumbing, heating, and electricity are functioning, and follow proper procedures for entry and notice. Rent collection and financial management means setting the rent, determining due dates and late fee policies, and choosing how rent will be collected, ideally online. Many self-managing landlords use platforms that automate rent collection, reminders, and late fees. On the financial side, you're responsible for tracking rental income, repairs, insurance, taxes, and other expenses, and keeping records that make tax time easier and show how the property is really performing. Maintenance and repairs are ongoing and can't be ignored. You'll schedule regular upkeep, respond to repair requests, and handle emergencies. You might do some work yourself, but you'll also need a network of vendors, plumbers, electricians, handymen ready to go. Keeping the property in good condition protects your investment and keeps good tenants longer, which reduces turnover costs. Tenant relations and evictions mean you're the primary contact for tenants. You'll address complaints, enforce rules, mediate conflicts, and decide when behavior crosses a line. If a tenant stops paying rent or violates the lease, you're also the one who must follow the legal eviction process, which means understanding notice requirements, court procedures, and timelines, and never resorting to illegal, self-help tactics like changing locks. Let's move from theory to a practical framework you can follow. Here's a simple step-by-step system you can use to self-manage your rental property. Step 1. Start small and pick the right property. If you're brand new, self-manage just one property instead of your whole portfolio.
This lets you learn the ropes without feeling overwhelmed, and you can always hand it off later if it's not the right fit.
Some properties are easier to self-manage than others. Choose a rental in a decent area with relatively low maintenance needs and a straightforward tenant profile. Think standard long-term rental, not high turnover student housing or a heavily regulated short-term rental. Step 2. Educate yourself on local laws. Before you list the property, spend time learning your local landlord-tenant laws and fair housing rules. Look up what landlords can and cannot do in terms of screening, repairs, deposits, and evictions, plus required disclosures, habitability standards, rules around security deposits, notice periods for entry and lease changes, and procedures for late rent and eviction. This prep work protects you from expensive mistakes. Step 3. Build your systems and templates. Self-managing is much easier when you use standardized processes. Have a written set of screening criteria, a legally reviewed lease agreement for your state or region, a move-in and move-out checklist with photo documentation, and email or text templates for common messages like showing confirmations, rent reminders, late notices, and renewal offers. Property management software can automate listing, screening, rent collection, and bookkeeping, saving you time and reducing errors. Step 4. Market and screen like a pro. When it's time to fill a vacancy, your goal is not just to get someone in, but to get the right tenant. Create a clear listing with accurate photos, a detailed description, and your basic qualification criteria. Then post it to major rental platforms. Respond quickly, and use a brief pre-screening questionnaire before showings to filter out unqualified applicants. For applicants, run background and credit checks, verify income and employment, and call previous landlords. Following your written criteria consistently helps you avoid discrimination claims and choose solid tenants. Step 5. Onboard tenants the right way. Once you've selected a tenant, use a legally compliant lease. Review key terms with them, and make sure they understand rent due dates, late fees, maintenance reporting, and house rules. Do a move-in inspection together. Document the condition with photos and written notes, and have both parties sign. Collect the security deposit and first month's rent in line with local laws and handle the deposit correctly. Set expectations for communication, what counts as an emergency, and how quickly you typically respond. Step 6. Streamline rent collection and bookkeeping. Set up an online rent payment method if possible, so payments, reminders, and late fees can be automated. Use simple accounting software or a structured spreadsheet to track rent received, repairs and maintenance, insurance, property taxes, utilities if applicable, and any tools or subscriptions tied to the property.
Good records make tax time easier and show whether your rental is truly performing.
Step 7. Build your vendor list and maintenance plan. Don't wait for a 2 a.m. plumbing emergency to start searching for help. Build a vendor list early with a few trusted contacts for plumbing, electrical, a general handyman, HVAC, and landscaping or snow removal if needed. Plan regular maintenance filter changes, seasonal checks, and exterior upkeep so you're protecting the asset instead of constantly reacting. Step 8. Communicate clearly and professionally. Your relationship with the tenant often determines how easy or hard self-management feels. Be responsive but set boundaries, and use text or email for non-emergency communication so you have a written record. Acknowledge requests, give realistic timelines, and follow through. Enforce your lease, apply late fees consistently, address violations promptly, and document everything in case things escalate. Step 9. Handle problems and evictions by the book. When you face non-payment, serious damage, or repeated violations, rely on the law, not emotion. If a tenant falls behind on rent, follow your state's notice procedures exactly, observe the waiting period, and only then file in court if they don't cure the issue. Never change locks or shut off utilities, and keep detailed records of payments, communications, and notices so you're prepared if you end up in front of a judge.
The good news is, self-managing a rental is much easier now thanks to software and automation.
There are online tools for listing your rental, running background and credit checks, collecting rent, tracking expenses, and storing documents. Many investors who self-manage use these platforms to be more efficient than traditional managers. You can also digitize your property with smart locks, smart thermostats, and remote access where allowed, which simplifies showings, maintenance access, and utility control, especially helpful if you're managing from a distance or while working a full-time job. Self-management isn't always the best answer, and sometimes hiring a property manager is the smarter move. If you have no extra time, if your property is far away, if your rental type has high turnover or complex regulations, or if you're very uncomfortable with conflict and legal processes, a good property manager can be worth the fee by reducing vacancy, handling compliance, and freeing you up to focus on acquisitions or your main business. To decide if self-managing makes sense for you, ask yourself, do I have a few reliable hours each month to manage this? Am I willing to learn and fold?